Aloha and welcome to Voices of Truth, one-on-one with Hawaii's future, brought to you by the Kiwani Foundation. I'm Ahu K. Kahu Cardwell, and here we are today on the leeward side of Oahu, and I'll tell you this right now, we have a fascinating guest on the show, so let's go on over here and meet her. Germaine, aloha.
Aloha, Ahu.
How are you? Germaine Meyers, did I say your name right?
You did.
Wonderful.
You did.
And tell us where we are today, Germaine.
Well, today we're at Nanakuli Beach Park. For the old timers, it's known as Nanakuli Beach Park, but about a year ago, it was named Kalani Anaole Beach Park.
Kalani Anaole Beach Park, but
Yes.
it used to be, everybody knows it is Nanakuli Beach Park.
Yes.
Wow, and a beautiful day it is here in Hawaii.
It is.
Super. So Germaine, we wanted to have you on the show because this is your home ground. This is your stomping grounds, right?
Yes, it's my birthplace,
Your
actually.
birthplace.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, so you were born in Nanakuli.
I was born in Nanakuli.
Okay, and Nanakuli is, there's something special about Nanakuli here, yes? With respect to how many Hawaiians live here.
Yes, Nanakuli is actually the largest homestead of Hawaiian homelands. It has over 1,000 homestead lots, and so in actuality, in Nanakuli is the largest concentration of Native Hawaiians in the world.
Wow, so this has more Hawaiians here than any place, not only in Hawaii, but in the entire world, yeah?
Most Native Hawaiians, 50% or more.
You grew up here. There's more Native Hawaiians here than any other place in the world, so obviously this is ground zero for Native Hawaiian issues and what's going on with the welfare and betterment of Native Hawaiians, yeah?
Yes, for sure.
What was it like to grow up here?
This beach park, we camped, we swam every summer, and of course when we had school, Nana Ikapono, we came here after school and we went to swim.
What was it like growing up here? What were the issues? What were, as a kid, as a teenager, going into adulthood?
Well, for Nanakuli, what I remember was a lot of shame.
Shame?
There was a lot of shame.
Really?
Because the name Nanakuli, there was some stigma going on. It was like, oh, those poor people. Later on, as an adult, I learned that the word indigent, what it meant. And I learned what Kamehameha Trust and, for orphans and for the indigent meant. And so I didn't know as I was growing up what it meant to be poor, because I came from a family of, my mom had 14 brothers and sisters.
Wow, large family.
Yes, 2 blocks away, my dad grew up and he was one of 60 siblings.
Wow.
So just between mom and dad, there's 30 uncles and aunties before they got married. And so, we had a lot of activities at OHHA, and because my grandparents were alive at the time. And so they always nurtured, come over, eat, grandma's house, this and that. I didn't understand what it meant to be poor until we went to school. And of course you didn't have new clothes because, it was a welfare system in Nanakuli. So in the talking, when you talk to people or friends from outside of Nanakuli, it's like, oh, those Nanakuli people. That's the stigma I remember having. So in honesty, when I became an adult and I started to work at Hawaiian Homelands at age 18, I actually, when people ask me, where are you from? I used to say, out on the west side, and I tried to stop near Kapolei and Waipahu. I never would say Nanakuli. And I recalled, when you reflect upon your childhood and you reflect upon your young adulthood, I remember that stood out for me. That I couldn't explain why I was ashamed to say I lived in Nanakuli. But all I know is that when you're in the adult world and you're saying I come from like the Bronx, so to speak, a impoverished area, sometimes people have this impression of you without even your first sentence. If you just say, oh, I'm from Nanakuli, and then you start talking, it's like, oh, there's this stigma that comes along with it. For the next generation, I just want something better than what we have today. I feel like I don't want to see homelessness in my family. We have some homeless family members.
And we have some homeless right in this park here where we're walking right now, yes?
Yes, we do. Yeah. And actually, off that reef area, do you see all the foliage?
Yes.
You see that gentleman right there?
Yes.
All the foliage behind him is actually a canvas of people, homeless people in there. I know some of them.
Wow.
Yeah, so I don't want the next generation of my family and the people that I grew up with, their children, I don't want them to have, homelessness, incarceration. I know we all are going to have struggle, but I would like them to be educated enough in a way that they can stand up to what we're dealing with, as far as economically, the weather, and they can make good judgments.
Let's talk now about something here in Hawaii that's really unique to Hawaii, and that is the Office of Hawaiian Affairs.
Okay.
And the Office of Hawaiian Affairs was created back in 1978 during a constitutional convention, and it was created specifically for the betterment of Native Hawaiians, to help people exactly that like live out here in Nanakuli, to help people like you and your family have a better life in terms of jobs, education, healthcare, things like that, yes?
Mm-hmm. Yes. What I did sense and feel about OHHA was that they're non-existent in Nanakuli. If they're an agency that's supposed to nurture the wellness of Native Hawaiians, you would think that they would be like grassroots, right into our faces about it.
Mm-hmm.
That we would know them in our schools, we would know them in our day-to-day lives. Mm-hmm. But when you talk to people in Nanakuli, they will actually say, OHHA,
Where's OHHA?
Yeah.
Where's OHHA?
OHHA is run by trustees, a board of trustees, and they're elected every 4 years. So in 2016, there were an election year. I went into the ballot, the booth, and I looked at these trustees and I thought, I want people who are going to go into OHHA and start making some changes that we'll actually see in our community. And so that is what got me interested in OHHA. So come January, there's all this disruption and there's all this confusion and infighting, I guess you could say, about who's right and who's wrong in regards to the management, administration, etc. And so that's what prompted me to go there and start listening up close in the meetings starting in February 3rd.
Wow. So Germaine, you went from somebody who's born and brought up in Nanakuli,
Mm-hmm.
who is Native Hawaiian, who at some point in your life you realize, wait a minute, I'm a beneficiary, being Native Hawaiian, I'm a beneficiary of the trust funds and trust lands that OHHA takes care of.
Yes.
And then you went from that to, in 2016, walking into the voting booth and voting for trustees who you thought would take OHHA to the next level, improve things.
Yes.
And then when that didn't happen, when you saw some pilikia or trouble
Yes.
at the OHHA Board of Trustees meetings, you actually decided to go down there in person and attend those meetings, yes?
Yes.
Wow.
So February was my first meeting in my life that I ever gone to an OHHA meeting face-to-face with the trustees in the boardroom. And it started an actual over 1 year. 1 year I've been going there, almost every board of trustee meeting and committee meeting. I've been an office manager, I'm an HR, benefits administrator. I understand how the mechanics of a business should work. And when all said and done, OHHA is a trust that manages assets. And attending these OHHA meetings, mid-year, they started to talk about the budget. And Chapter 10, Hawaii Revised Statutes, actually outlines what is OHHA to do, and how their administrative rules and the ins and outs of how they should conduct business. Well, they have specifics about the budget, and they weren't even following that.
So this stuff is all in black and white in statutes.
Yes.
It's not a guess of what they're supposed to be doing.
No.
It's specific in terms of what they're supposed to be doing.
Yes.
In their mission to help Native Hawaiian beneficiaries.
Yes.
And you went there and went, oh my goodness, they're not even close to this.
They're not even close to it. They're not even discussing it the way that it was outlined. They're not even managing it the way that it was supposed to be managed. And so I'm sitting there and I'm going, no wonder we're not getting help out in Nanakuli.
Okay, Germaine, when you found out that they were way off the mark, how did that make you feel as a beneficiary of OHHA?
You really want to know? I mean, it would be so upsetting. It would be so upsetting. I would be driving to OHHA meetings knowing how they manage the meetings and how they discuss things and deliberate things on the table. And I would be like, oh my gosh, what's gonna happen at this meeting? And then I would leave there and I would be going, wow, I can't believe it. I just couldn't believe how they mismanage, I should say, the trust. It's just so shocking. And so I did some research about different agenda items. And then I would find, what could be considered corruption. Just the numbers don't add up. The way that it was implemented didn't add up. And so fast forward, we get an audit report that says all of the things that I was seeing was true.
So an audit was done by the state and it verified everything that you had realized was happening.
Yes.
Okay, all right, Germaine. Now, I want to come back one more time to more Native Hawaiians that live in Nanakuli than any place else on the planet.
Okay.
So, everybody who lives in Nanakuli that's Native Hawaiian, none of those people went down to OHHA to attend the Board of Trustee meetings. None of them decided to give testimony, but you did.
Yes.
Why you? How come you could have sat back and went, that's too much trouble. That's a bureaucracy. I don't want to get involved in that. How come you didn't do that?
Well, I think it's my nature. I like to confront issues. When I say I like, it's not like I go, oh, let me confront issues. It's just that when I see something that's amiss, I would confront it. I would look at it and say, this is the reality I'm dealing with. I need to understand it.
This is how you're raised. I mean, these are the core values that your parents and grandparents and all of the elders in your family instilled in you as you were growing up, yes?
Yes, I mean, you confront things like my mother confronting me. Don't throw the rubbish out the window. That was it was so strong in my memory that I never, after that moment, threw rubbish on the ground, out the window. And when I see people doing it, I'm like, okay, there's no trash can around, but I just can't let myself do it. And that was from me, my mom confronting me and saying, that's wrong, don't do it again. And so same with me, I'm like, that's wrong, don't do it. You need to stop doing that. And so I feel like they're playing with our future. They played with our present and our past, meaning OHHA. So I'm saying enough is enough already. This is what I consider being Hawaiian. I was born in Hawaii. I was raised by Hawaiians, parents and German parents that had heritage and ancestors from this land. And I was told how to live here, what's beautiful about this part of planet Earth, and why I should malama here.
Why you should take care of it.
Yes, why I should take care of this part of the world. I don't want to live anywhere else in the world. I want to live here and thrive here. I love these beaches. That's why I wanted to be here. I love these beaches. And we didn't plan this, but look, apparently they love it too.
Yeah.
I love the sun. I moved to Seattle. I thought I was going to live there to be near my sister when she uprooted and went there. And I got there and I was like, this is not home. I love the ocean. I love the smell of the ocean. I love the sun. I love Hawaii. So this is my hometown. I don't want people to come here and destroy it and destroy the lives of my keiki, my nieces, my nephews, my friends' children. This is our homeland. This is where right up the street is the cemetery. My Hano grandmother and grandfather are buried there. This is my hometown. I don't want to live anywhere else in the world.
We've talked about, your past. You grew up here in Nanakuli.
Yes.
You're living here now. You want to live here for the rest of your life. We've talked about OHHA and what OHHA was created to do, which is help Hawaiians. Jobs, healthcare, education, and how you started to go to the OHHA meetings because you just saw it wasn't puno, it wasn't right.
Yes.
They were off the mark. So let's talk about the future of OHHA.
Yes.
And if OHHA was run according to its core mission, what would that look like? What would that feel like? What impact would that have for Hawaiians out here in Nanakuli and throughout Hawaii?
Well, at the top of the banner would say betterment for Hawaiians, Native Hawaiians. And then under that banner is common sense things.
Like what?
Like how do you make a life of someone better? So you look at their history and you look at their current circumstance and you say, okay, there's struggle there. You know, they are living in a system where the education system is this way. Okay, how can I better that so that they end up with a better degree, a diploma, so that they can survive. They're going to school for 13 years. They're going to live till they're 80. How do I make those, umpteen other years better for them? And so it's from them being able to handle the life that we're living in, geographically, economically, environmentally, in the state that we're in. And so, of course, we want what they consider bread and butter issues. How can they afford housing? What is affordable housing? How can they pay for food to go on their table? Clothes on their backs? Just basic stuff. What can I do to make this Hawaiian be able to survive and thrive in this environment in the 2000s? And so that's what I'm saying. We got to sit down and we have to go. It's a complex problem, but we all live in a complex world and we have to confront it and we have to look at the issues and start coming up with solutions. Okay, budget-wise, this is what we have to do. It really has to be grassroots on the needs and basic needs of Hawaiians. And then helping them to be beneficiaries to the point that they can become benefactors. Now they don't need your help. They can go on their own and they've been able to self-sustain because you've built them up so well that they don't need to take help anymore. And now they can help others. That's the vision, to take them from beneficiary to benefactor. I needed your help. Your help helped me get to a level. Now I can sustain myself. Now I can help the next person.
Okay, Germaine, do you think taking them from beneficiary to benefactor, and that means bringing OHHA back to its core mission, do you think that needs to be done only with big changes, or can they also be small changes, or maybe some of both?
Well, it has to me, it's big changes.
Big changes,
Because what I saw in those meetings in the last year and a half, everything needs to be thrown out. I mean, the way that they were managing the money and the resources, the amount of staffing that they have, the way that they've structured the trust, having LLCs, all of that has to change. You can't say I need a little of that and a little of this.
Yeah, because I guess a lot of the monies, the funding that should go directly to the beneficiaries have been diverted for years to other things that they have no business spending the money on, yeah?
They don't have no business spending the money on. If I can give you one example, we have another sort of trust, we call it, Department of Hawaiian Homelands. They have 200,000 acres.
So they manage those 200,000 acres of land for Hawaiians here in Hawaii, yes?
Correct. They were supposed to develop it to put them on the land, residential lots, agriculture and pastoral.
So people could afford housing.
Correct. But they couldn't, so you can have a piece of land and then you can build your home and then, live and thrive. But they weren't able to develop the lands. Where was OHHA in all this picture? Why couldn't OHHA take some parcels of land, build up commercial properties, which they have kaka'ako now, they haven't even done that, build up some commercial property to generate income for sustainability. That can generate income to now manage the trust. Instead, they take parcels of land in kaka'ako and they're saying, rezone this. How many years they've owned kaka'ako land and they have not rezoned it, and in the meantime it's sitting there. You've got Hawaiian Homelands has land in Kalailoa. Right now we have Kamakana Ali'i. That was always Hawaiian Homelands. Why didn't OHHA have a conversation with the HHL and say, hey, you got parcels of land out here, we want to develop, we got this money, we want to turn the money over and start building up the money. We want to build up the trust. Instead, they're saying, oh, we only want to live off of ceded land money. That's the kind of, I'm like, how are you you're behaving like a beneficiary.
So they're spending the money instead of building it up, yeah?
Correct.
That's incredible.
So they've had 40 years of time that they could have built relationship with the OHHA who had the land, who they can give it out for commercial reasons.
Who could have been a perfect partner in development.
Could have been a perfect partner.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't know why nobody has ever sit down and look at our resources. It's like, oh no, we're going to do this on our own. And then the HL is doing it on their own. Middle schools are doing it on their own instead of collaborating with one another because you're serving the same person. That's the part I don't get. I don't understand.
Okay, Germaine. There's a lot of great ideas out there, some of which you've articulated here today about how to improve things for Native Hawaiians, how to bring OHHA back, the Office of Hawaiian Affairs, back to its core mission. What kind of difference can a single individual make in all of this? Can you go in, as you have been, and make the kind of impact that needs to be made there?
Well, you know, looking at the family unit, can mom and dad make a difference in a child's life?
Absolutely.
Right, okay. Now, does it get better when you have other extensions of that family? You know, you have other adults that nurture also that child.
Aunties and uncles.
Aunties and uncles. So just looking at the OHHA structure, where mom and dad is critical, they're just one and one to that one child. They're critical in the development and the longevity of that child. Then you look at the extension. So it's the same way with the organization. Yes, one individual can make a difference, and another can. And uncles and aunties can make a difference. So I'm hoping that other people who consider themselves like uncles and aunties, mom and dads, we all come together and we all say, we need these things to change. We need you to stop and we need you to change. And we want to be a part of that. We're saying we're not going to just stand on the side and let you create a situation that we don't want to live in. We need each other to help change that. And yes, 1 + 1 + 1 + 1, all of us can make a difference.
Germaine, what would you say to the Hawaiians who would say to you, you know what, I have watched OHHA for 40 years and nothing has gotten better, things have gotten worse, and I am just throwing up my hands in disgust and I don't want to even be involved with this anymore. I'm done. What would you say to them to try to get them back involved and show them that there is a way to make things better?
I'm going to say to them that it's not easy, and it's sometimes you feel a knot at your throat. It's sort of like watching a domestic violence happen right in front of your eyes. You're seeing it, you say, I see him hurting her, and I know I should go there and stop it, but I wonder if he's going to beat me up. I wonder if I'm going to get hurt. Then there's the other part of you saying, I'm not going to let her get abused. And you step in, and you don't know what's going to happen. And you don't know if you're going to be able to handle it. It just really takes a lot of faith that when you get involved, that something good is going to come out of it. And I say, yeah, I might get bust up. But here's the thing, I'm showing that lady that I care about her. That I really care about her. That I may come out black-eyed and bruised up, but she's never gonna forget that I cared about her. So instead of looking at what's gonna happen to me, try to look at the other person and say, how am I gonna make a difference for her? And maybe you might find out later, actually, he got put in jail. And she's now thriving with her children. There's that side of the story. You know, you got involved, it stopped her from being abused, and now she's picked herself up, and slowly but surely, she's fixed herself up, and she's jumped back into the game of life, and she's thriving with her children. That's the vision that you gotta see when you see abuse. Instead of going, am I gonna get beat up.
Germaine, are you hopeful for the future?
I can't be anything but hopeful for the future. It is my nature to be hopeful, but it's also my nature to get involved and be active and to say, hey, I'm going to be part of that hope. I can't leave hope up to somebody else. I have to be hope to someone else, and I have to believe in and have faith that with my actions and the concerted actions of others will make a difference. So I'm hopeful.
Wow, what a wonderful message. And Germaine, you know what? That's where we got to leave it. Mahalo for being here today on Voices of Truth and giving us this wonderful message. And keep doing what you're doing. Don't stop, because you are making a difference.
Thank you.
And mahalo to our viewers. Remember, you can watch us on the web 24/7 on voicesoftruth.tv.com, and you can like Voices of Truth One-on-One with Hawaii's Future on Facebook. I'm Ahuke Kahu Cardwell for the Kiwani Foundation, along with Germaine here. And until next time, ahui ho!
Ahui ho.
Mahalo for watching Voices of Truth One-on-One with Hawaii's Future. Watch us on the web 24/7 at voicesoftruth.tv.com. You'll find all our shows, including this one, in case you want to see it again or share it with family and friends. Also view our weekly video commentaries at freehawaiitv.com. And check out our blog, published daily, at freehawaii.info. It's all part of the Free Hawaii Broadcasting Network.